Hi, this is Patty Jackson from iHeartMedia. Welcome to Staying Informed with AARP. Joanne Grossi is joining us, AARP. Tell us your role and what you do.
So, first of all, great to be with you, Patty. I'm the State President Emeritus of AARP. I was the State President for 6 years, but my term expired and they asked me to stay on as an Emeritus President.
How important is it getting the word out about caregiving?
Oh, it's critically important because one of the things we know is that just here in Pennsylvania, there's 1.5 million of our residents who are a caregiver for a loved one. And by the way, they're providing $22 billion worth of uncompensated care. So it's really important that, first of all of our caregivers know resources available to them and that they get the help they need.
If you're a senior caregiver, what resources are available through AARP?
There's a lot of resources available. First of all, we have a website that's devoted to caregiving, aarp.org/caregiving, and you can't even believe how much information's on there. Everything from financial information, legal information, what to do if someone has dementia, how to find the right nursing home, how to get emotional support if you're a caregiver. I mean, the list is really endless. Special categories like for veterans. So I really encourage anyone who's a caregiver to go to our website to find out about the resources.
Caregiving can be very challenging, but what are some of the key challenges that caregivers go through?
Well, I think there's a number of key challenges. First and foremost is making sure that as the caregiver that you take care of yourself. You know, we're really doing a lot for the people in our lives. I'm a caregiver myself. My 93-year-old father lives with me. I've been taking care of him for 10 years now. And so there's just a list of things you have to worry about, you know, grooming them, dressing them, making sure they have their medications, making sure they get your doctor's appointment scheduled, taking them to the doctor's appointment, making sure they have the nutrition they need, that any other items that they need to take care of, like undergarments and things. So it is an endless list. So caregivers really need to make sure that they're taking care of themselves as well.
How important is it to establish a comprehensive care plan for seniors? Is that very important?
It's really important to just coordinate with the other people in your life. For example, you know, I coordinate with my sibling and my niece to help me out to get everything scheduled so that I can get a break, for example, and that we are sure that everything he needs is taken care of. So coordination of schedules and needs is a really important component.
It's not easy taking care of someone, but how can caregivers ensure the safety of seniors? You know, accidents do happen, falls do happen. What steps are in place there?
Yeah, well, the one thing I suggest is something we did ourselves. We had an occupational therapist come into the home, and they really looked at the home and gave us advice on put bars here, get rid of that rug, move that furniture. So it's really a worthwhile expense, and in some cases Medicare will even cover it, to have an occupational therapist come in and really make sure that your home is laid out so that it's safe. And that includes also getting some, if you can afford it, one of those medical alert systems so that if there is a fall, you know, the EMTs are notified right away, you're notified right away if you're not home. And so there really are a lot of things you can do to set up the home to make it a lot safer.
Let's talk about dementia or depression. What are some strategies for managing a person that may be going through? There are many offshoots of Alzheimer's.
Right.
So you don't know what you're going to be faced with, but for some it could be a outburst, just dealing with them. What things are in place to kind of like teach people how to deal with it?
Well, that's where I'm really going to point you to our resources page again, because there are certainly support groups out there. There are professionals that can help you how to manage the situation with dementia or Alzheimer's, where you are on the spectrum, and even get you the home care you need. You know, again, Medicaid, Medicare, there are programs that can help support you to get people in the home, to give you support that you need, even things like adult daycare if you need a break, to put someone in the facility for the day or get respite care. So that's a case where I really encourage you to work with your healthcare provider if you have someone in your life who has dementia or Alzheimer's, to set up the best care plan for them.
What are some of the local resources available, like right here in the tri-state?
Well, the great news is that, especially here in Pennsylvania and across the country, actually, we have something called the Area Agencies on Aging. Now, these are actually funded by the state, but the state gets the funding from the federal government. But this is county specific. So if you get in touch with your county area agency on aging, they can give you lots of resources. In fact, they'll even come out to your home and do a home care assessment and then tell you what do you qualify for, what services you qualify for. Because in some cases, people qualify for things such as home meal delivery or transportation to doctor's offices, or even again having a home health care aide come in for a few hours a day. So people really don't realize there are a lot of resources available for them, and I encourage anyone to get in touch with their county area agency on aging.
With AARP, say you're placed in the role of being a caregiver, what things are in place to maybe teach you how to give them the proper nutrition or exercise or physical, because it's very daunting for many people. This is something brand new, but how do you take care of someone?
Yeah, I think it takes a team. I'm going to use my example of what I'm living with my dad. We consulted with doctors first and occupational therapists and even physical therapists and again, home health nurses who helped us, get ideas on what kind of nutrition he needs and even protein supplements. And so I really stress that it takes a team to really understand what's the best plan to come up with. So again, anything from your primary care doctor to home health aides to nursing assistants to occupational therapists. And again, our AARP, website, again, it really does have incredible amounts of information and resources for you.
Joanne, the legal and ethical considerations should caregivers be aware of? Where is the fine line so that people will know, like which line not to cross?
Yeah, this becomes a really touchy situation, right? For example, again, with my dad, we have, my sister has power of attorney for his financial issues. I have medical power of attorney. Those were difficult conversations. I think we have to be honest about that. People don't want to think that they've lost control over, their decisions, things like driving or their finances or making medical decisions. But the truth is that there comes a point often in people's lives where, they just aren't capable anymore of making those decisions. So it's important to have honest conversations with your family and that loved one. And in a lot of cases, I think it's really important to start having these conversations 10 years earlier while someone is still healthy and cognizant, and so that you can have a plan together to know what you're going to do when the time comes.
What's the best way to facilitate the open communication? Because in so many instances, maybe the caregiving falls on one person and you can't get the other family members to get involved. Oh, I'm too busy, I don't want to do that. What areas there where AARP can help someone who finds themselves in a caregiving situation?
Yeah, and that's again where I think, both our website and the Area Agency on Aging that I talked about earlier. I think it's a really great organization to be in touch with, because again, they can help you figure out, can you put someone in adult daycare to give yourself a break, or, have a home health aide come into the home for a few hours and again give you a break. And so there really are a lot of organizations out there and resources to help you manage it, even if you're doing it all alone.
Let's talk about that taking a break. I'm a stroke survivor. 8 years ago, I suffered a stroke. I took care of my mother for 25 years. In 2 weeks after she died, I broke. I literally broke. That's the only way I can describe what happened to me. And whereas I was able to regain, my walking and my vision, but I knew exactly, Joanne, why I had a stroke.
Right.
I had to take care of my mom. I still got to be a mom. I still got to go to work. And it was like juggling constantly. What things are there? Because a lot of times you're so busy taking care of and pouring into someone else that you neglect yourself.
Absolutely. And this is not a statistic of mine, but the Alzheimer's Association quotes that 40% of caregivers actually die before the person they're taking care of. And so I just think what you said is so important. Your story is not surprising, unfortunately. You just have to make sure you get breaks. You have to be selfish about taking care of yourself. I mean, I know I'm saying some of the things I said already, but if you don't have family members that can help out, can you enlist? I have cousins who actually come even and take care of my dad, for a couple of hours, or friends who've actually have offered, and I've taken them up on that offer. So first and foremost, take people up on their offers. Say yes. Don't feel guilty. You deserve a break. Not only do you deserve a break, you have to take a break. I mean, your situation is such a great example, because in fact, caregivers end up getting sick themselves. So you just have to take a break and accept the offer when it's given. And again, go to these organizations that I've mentioned. Put somebody in adult daycare for the day, or put them in respite care for a week, and not feel guilty about it, because you have to take care of yourself physically and emotionally and even spiritually. I mean, this can really break your spirit doing this kind of caregiving. So you just have to take care of yourself.
Joanne Grossi, AARP, what is the website that people can go?
AARP.org/caregiving. Please go to it, because, by the way, there's even a phone number on there that if you want to talk to a real live person at AARP national offices, you can speak to them. They'll help you understand the resources available to you in your community. So I can't stress enough, go to that website. It has all the information you'd want.
Staying informed with AARP, AARP.org. Do it today so you can take care of yourself and your loved ones in a very healthy way. Thank you, Joanne.
Thanks, Patty.